Swing by my place with a cab, yeah? Besides my own morbid curiosity. Right, of course. Thanks, Morgan. Thank you. Wait, I almost forgot. What is it? You don't happen to have anything you could wear in black, do you? Given that they mentioned... They implied Morgan would be in his will, I reckon that they're like exes in some capacity. In transit. The autocab hums a synthesized purr as our on-ramp merges onto a canopy superhighway steadily and suddenly all at once. Not much super about it, but it does cast one hell of a shadow. The canopy's always felt very arts and crafts to me. Cobbled together, always added onto, never finished, never planned. It's clearly taken a lot of time and effort to make, but the end result's still ugly. And it feels like it could fall apart at any moment. You okay, Morgan? You look a little car sick. I'm fine, thanks for asking. But if I ignore her text now, she'll send more later. Hey, Freckles. Saw your friend Asher on the news. RIP. Thank you. For trying to be sincere. Worth a shot. We all have our strengths. God damn, you're one passive-aggressive little girl. Why does all your filial piety go out the window whenever you talk to me? Filial piety doesn't work on you. You love yourself too much to appreciate respect. Choo-choo went the train. See, Freckles, you can be very insightful. When you aren't too busy side-eyeing the whole world. Wonder where I picked that up from. Yeah, this is the mother. Oh, not from me. I'm pretty sure you were born muttering insults under your breath. If her own mother would refer to Asher as her friend, it's probably not an ex-husband. Possibly an ex-boyfriend, though. The nurses tried to make you cry and you responded by giving them self-esteem issues. Did you ever have dealings with Noble? 10 out of 10 shifting the conversation. Subtle as a car crash. Subtlety doesn't work on you either. Well, it might. If you were good at it, XD. I love that there was that pause there. I didn't add that. That was just her being like... This is me asking for advice. Okay. Guess this never sunk in. Because you spent most of your apprenticeship asleep. But my clients were all celebs. The rich and famous. I didn't have that many dealings with the Megs that own their likenesses. Is it really that different? Plenty. Celebs don't like people seeing their dirty side. So they pay smart people like me to clean up their messes. But Megs don't like people seeing them at all, period. But also, Megs are a lot more lively when it comes to... Is this an option I've ticked, or is this just going to auto-censor any swearing? Gross. Hard workers with a lot of stress to vent. Stop. Do you have any actual help to offer? Truth be told, I did have this one run-in where I got shit deep in corporate intrigue. Why? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's going to auto-censor. That's not an option I can turn off, because otherwise you can't do jokes like that one. I got caught, beep, 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 up the beep, beep, of Analyze 45 poster girl. God damn it. Hard worker. Lot of stress to vent. Glad to know I can always reach out to you in my time of need. I'm going to let that slide, because I know you're in mourning. Look. Corporate types are all a bunch of paranoid drug addicts. Huffing glue and playing roulette on their phones. While fantasizing about stabbing everyone else in the meeting to death. So don't expect them to play nice just because Asher was your pal. My actual advice is get whatever you're owed, then get out of there fast as fuck, boy. That's a beautiful thought, auntie. Oh, okay, fair enough. Close, but still. I mean it. Corporations prefer Viking funerals. What's a Viking funeral? A dignified ceremony where the body's sent out to sea on a boat. Then they set everything on fire and sink the ashes to the bottom of the ocean. Try not to linger, Frenkles. You don't want to be stuck on board when they start knocking their arrows. Thanks. But what the hell was that about me sleeping on the job? I worked harder in one day than any of you Gen Alpha drunks did all week. Should have worked smarter, lol. And if you want to go there, you did literally fall asleep on the job. At the Xmas party. Oh, that's her hand. I was trying to work out what the hell this was. I mean, adorable, but still. What is the... what is that? Amazing. I love that she's typing worse now that she's stressed. That's so cool. Why do you have that? Why do you have that? It's not even accurate. Work parties are still work, Freckles. I only have my eyes closed. Because you old fart said your camera's flashing. Morgan, something wrong? You're sweating. Just deleting some spam. Got a couple more minutes of crawling through the canopy's guts before we reach David's part of the city. Uptown, our better half. Gleaming opera houses and towering corporate apartments. I love that she just goes from, like, texting her aunt being like, what the fuck have you got that picture for? Oh my god, that's so gross, to, ah yes, pontificating about the state of this city. Boutique shops with more cameras than customers. Penthouses stacked upon penthouses in a frantic climb to the top of the rat pile. All ringed in by restaurants with long wait times and small serving sizes. The joke is that uptown folks go most of the year without touching street level. Not much of a punchline there, it's basically true. But now the whole block must be swarmed with cops, themselves surrounded by media and all encircled by onlookers. I could try and enjoy these last few moments of calm, but if the storm's coming either way, I'd rather use the time to try and find my footing. Actually, Jess, if you've got a second, I was curious about you and David, David's death, the request. Oh, that headline. I'm hoping I'll be able to ask all of these, so I'll start off with the one I've unlocked, that headline. I saw that headline, by the way, the one where your warm android saved that soldier's life. Oh yeah, pretty feel good, don't you think? So folks at the company must have been in high spirits lately, I take it. That's what I thought when I first heard about it, but I don't know, maybe upper management's never happy. Because they're still riding sales harder than ever, pushing the traditional consumer markets. I thought they'd start building a pitch for Congress the day the story dropped. A big patriotic campaign telling everyone why we need a contract for warm androids in the military. But I haven't heard about them moving staff around for anything like that. Maybe it's all above my pay grade. All the corporate money and power in the world, and they're still joyless assholes when they won't even celebrate their victories. Alright, you and David. Remind me, how many years did you and David work together? Oh, well, I started with the company about 4 years ago. They offered me a temp contract when I was graduating. I was put in HR right in the middle of a hiring burst, so I spent 2 months in the Warrens. And then an aptitude test got me fast-tracked to middle-low management. Sorry, Warrens? Oh, that's just what we called the company dorms back then, on account of all the... well, all the people. Ah. Plus it was underground. Ah. Didn't see the sun that first month. My skin got so dry. Is that normal in your industry? Normal for everyone I've ever worked with. Except David, of course. I mean, he was the best. Yeah. One Tuesday morning, Dr. David Asher walked right up to my desk like I'd won the lotto. Said I should come work for him, Dr. David Asher, directly. On a random Tuesday morning like it was nothing. He didn't like to do things on Mondays. Said people were always too tired to get anything done anyway. Yeah, that's right. He did say that. I should know by now, right? 3 years of arranging meetings and keeping him organised and occasionally straightening his tie. He was a good boss. He was a good guy. Yeah. When did you last speak with him? In person. Oh, sorry, that was... When did you last speak to him in person? That was what she said, sorry. Thursday afternoon. The day before yesterday. He seemed normal. I mean, I didn't. I still don't really know anything, Jess. You're right, thanks. Thursday's the last time I saw him. That was when he asked me to meet with you. Yeah, it's a good time to talk about that. Jess, I have to wonder, what kind of request did David make of you that it couldn't wait a few days? Right, of course. He asked me to give you something. Something? Is she trying to build suspense? Right, it's just, well... I don't know exactly what it is. You have no idea? He asked me to give you the contents of his safe. Are we headed to the bank, then? No, see, he has this private safe in his basement. Maybe you've seen it? Well, I say safe, but it might be more accurate to call it his storage locker, or a false wall. And all he told you was that he wanted me to have what's inside. Right. He was very clear about that part. Your eyes only, straight into your hands. Handle it in person, he said. Strange. I mean, this really is... Like, I'm going to make more iRobot references now. This very much feels like... I'm guessing it's the android. And I'm guessing he knew he was going to die. So he set this up, like, if he spoke to her, like, 2 days ago and he died sometime since then, that's a massive, massive coincidence that he presumably hides an android in a wall and then is like... oh, can you give the contents of this to Morgan, who I haven't spoken to in ages, and, you know, just handle it yourself, don't give it to anyone else, and if I happen to die, do it anyway? Strange. This is all pretty analog for someone as technically gifted as David. Coming from anyone else, I call it paranoid, but David was never paranoid, which means he knew it was coming, even when he had every right to be. If he wanted this handled a certain way, it must be for a good reason. I'm guessing you've already been to his place? Yes, a real mess over there. It's that bloody? Oh god, no, not that kind of mess. I just meant with the cops stacked on the media, stacked on the lawyers. Each of them has their own network of drones and all their droning. It's very, it's a very high productivity atmosphere is what I mean. When were you able to get over there? Well, I got a call from legal late last night. They weren't exactly delicate in breaking the news to me. Last night? They said they needed my help sorting through all his... Well, you know how he left things organised sometimes. He's been dead since last night and they've kept it under wraps that long. I know there are a lot of powerful people in these circles, but to stop it from leaking for over 12 hours? That seems more than just your typical powerful people trying to control the narrative. Seems more like there's something they're actively trying to suppress. So you found out last night? Right, last night. Oh god. I'm so sorry, I should have told you as soon as I found out. Really, it's alright. Did you see anything? No, I still haven't actually seen him at all. He was airlifted to the hospital ASAP and that's where he passed, so... But well, I didn't get the impression that the cops had been there that long. Not compared to the lawyers. They and the rest of the company people seem pretty entrenched. Noble set up camp before the police even arrived. So what time would that have been? I guess I got there around 9 PM? Yeah, because at 9:15 they switched my phone to silo mode and I got locked out of everything but my work stuff. Sent my last blah at 9:13, see? Gonna expire whoever put me in the heels this morning. It me. They could do that to your phone, lock you out of social media? Of course not. Well, unless I'm on the clock, or off the clock but on company property. But they can remote all my tech, yeah. How convenient. So if I got in at 9 PM, I guess the rest of the company people had to be there since 8:30 PM? I hadn't been there more than a few minutes before the mood changed. Word about the hospital declaring him dead has started to leak. I see. He died after reaching the hospital? That's unexpected. Yeah, I'm sorry to make another iRobot reference, but this really does feel like he got some means to kill him that wasn't, the norm. Because people go to hospital and get declared dead there when they're clinging to life. So either like trauma or something that can be saved. And generally suicide by poison is I think, a bit more successful. It's 2086. You might be in trouble if you get stuck in bureaucratic purgatory, but when you need to be in the emergency room. But other than that, if you reach the hospital alive, a good doctor can stabilize most any patient within a few moments. And Noble Electronics' lead programmer would have a very good doctor. So what the hell happened? Is she mistaken? Was he not officially declared dead until reaching the hospital for some reason, or... The other thing is that, no, because if they were trying to set up a narrative, it would be better if he died on his own, rather than they failed to save him. So it's possible they took him there, interrogated him, and then killed him? Hard to think about, I know. Yeah. Or hard to believe. So, David asked you to do this on Thursday, correct? Yeah, Thursday. And he passed last night, Friday. Yeah? Wait, you don't think that when we met, he had already decided... It's not healthy to speculate on that sort of thing. More importantly, it's not helpful. The dead don't have anything to offer the living. I should know. You're probably right. Besides, we'll need to focus. Judging by the size of the crowd I'm looking at, it looks like we're about to jump into the thick of it. Okie dokie. Noble Employee Housing Building. Pleasure. Lobby. And I thought there were a lot of police here before. Maybe too late to ask, but you're not bad with crowds, are you, Morgan? She's kidding, right? It's downright airy in here compared to what we just waded through. Wide eyes and clenched fists, heads peeking over shoulders and around signs. Police, both mechanical and warm-blooded, closing ranks with holograms and quick-set wires to draw a severe perimeter. While protesters, mourners, fanatics and busybodies shuffle about at the edges of the police line, the heat of their panicked anxiety washing over... Who the hell were all those people? Well, there've always been people with strong feelings about our products. Android stepped forward into the mob, gently, firmly, unfeelingly parting the human tide. Most of them with official police branding, but a few remotely deputized consumer models emerged from the crowd to join them. All of them built by Noble. All of them built from David's code. All of them standing vigil outside his tomb. This is all technically company property, isn't it? Yep, David had the penthouse all to himself, but every other floor's tenants are Noble employees too. Not an uncommon arrangement in Uptown. Work at Noble, rent from Noble. Wave hello to your Noble neighbour in the morning and make sure you request a spot in line at the official company crematorium. They don't actually do that last part. I think. Does Noble handle employee funerary arrangements? She's curious about the crematorium now. Yeah, it's pretty standard benefit actually. It's cheap for them compared to dental. But Noble's always been generous with benefits. Work hard and the company will have you set for life. And after. Both the State and Noble have gotten themselves entrenched here in the lobby. Security and damage control and PR and liability. Everybody just glad to be working. I'm feeling a little overstimulated. Any chance we can just skip all these checkpoints? Ha! No, absolutely not. So who do we need permission from? The cops or the company? My request went through, so we should have the go-ahead from both at this point. We won't need to go through the actual... Is it still called a crime scene? If it's not technically a crime... I don't want to think about how many suits Noble's painted about that question right this very instant. David's vault is in the penthouse's basement. How'd you have a basement in a penthouse? Surely that's just one floor below. But we can't get to it from these ground floor elevators. We have to ride straight up to the rooftop veranda, walk in his front door, and then head down. If Jess says we can do that without stumbling across where he died, then... Okay, so I just flash my ID card at any problem that comes up, including him. Hey ladies, look, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we're at capacity at the moment. Let anyone else buy, we won't be able to maintain... Huh, you're that lawyer, Morgan. You caught me, detective. How long's it been? Feels like it's been ages. Oh dear, not still bitter about our last encounter, I hope. I'll live. I don't see the spunky one around. She taking a mental health day to preserve that unflappable charm? No, Detective Reyes is around. Why, you miss her that bad? Yes, I mean, hello? I've had blind pimples that were more endearing. I disagree, I think she's great. You two know each other? Jess Starling, meet Homicide Detective Cassim London. It's a pleasure, miss. Oh, likewise? As you might have guessed, the detective and I are acquainted. Comes with the line of work. Morgan's being modest, sweetheart. We're practically blood. Oh, wow, me, sweetheart? Something wrong, Starling? Huh? No, nothing's wrong. But close as we are, I still can't let her walk in off the street and onto the scene of an ongoing investigation. Even Noble's lawyers have to play by the rules now. Play by the rules, so there is a game afoot. What makes you assume I'm here in a professional capacity? You're a criminal defense attorney and we're at a crime scene. Call it an old man's intuition. Good detectives don't rely on intuition though, do they? They rely on evidence. Oh, I don't rely on it, don't worry. I just need to lean on it every now and then, when my back acts up. Oh, cool. Guy gets a bit of grey in his hair and thinks it's a free pass to act like a goddamn cowboy. Well, I'm afraid your intuition is off this morning, detective. I'm here on a private matter. The deceased wasn't your client? No, that would have been a conflict of interest. Conflict? You two knew each other? I see. In that case, allow me to give you my condolences. Thank you. But what I could really use is a bit of your help. You sure rally fast. Jess? Right. She's using that a lot, whatever that is. Some sort of anxiety medication, perhaps? We have this clearance here, detective, sir, from legal, which allows us... That's alright, little lady, I trust you. You can leave the paperwork holstered for now. Little lady? We aren't here for David, really. We won't be setting foot anywhere near your staging area, detective. Alright. Why not? How generous. I can afford to be generous today, because if I screw up... He gestures to the lobby full of suits and cops. Plenty of folks at hand ready to pick up the slack. Well, if you're that at ease, perhaps I can take this time to ask you a few questions. Hey, you can always ask, Tiger. But I think you understand what I mean when I say whether or not I can answer is not entirely up to me. Looking tired, the investigation cooperating, or controversy? Yeah, let's start off with something personal. You're looking a bit haggard. How long have you been here anyway? Since this morning. But civilized folks don't call it morning when the street lights are still on. Even if he got here around 1 or 2 in the morning, that still means homicide wasn't brought in until hours after Noble had the lay of the land. Sounds like you could use a break. I could use a retirement package. Hey, you're a lawyer, right? According to all my business cards. At least the ones that don't say serial killer. Think I can sue for elder abuse? Not that kind of lawyer, sorry. You would lose, though. I already regret asking. Why've they got a homicide detective losing sleep over this anyway? A man is dead and he wasn't killed by fire, a vehicle, organised criminals or disinformation. As far as we know. So at the moment, homicide's technically not the worst fit. But we're leading in name only. A high-profile death like this, everyone's got an eye on us. And a hand placed firmly on the back of our neck. Cooperating. You boys and Noble all getting along with each other, sharing your toys? Some of the younger ones are bristling, but I always play well with others, counsellor. And how well do the Megs play with you? They give you full access to the building security? They've given us access, and they say it's full. Some big penumbra system, top of the line coverage, top to bottom of the building. The size of the data stream's torrential. It'll be a while before we can start making sense of it all. A more conspiratorial man might think that was intentional. Bury us in data and hope we're too swamped to find what they're trying to hide? Maybe. Wait, they gave you full access to the penumbra? But that would mean every android in the building is feeding you their full spectrum. You know your stuff. The penumbra pulls data from any androids connected to a building's net, but that's not much help since there weren't any androids in the penthouse. Right. So she does know that there is an android up there. That's why she was like, wait, you're getting information from the androids? But yeah, that's just confirmation that the android that is up there is disconnected from the net. You know, I heard the rumours, never put much stock in them, but it's true. Asher really never owned a single android. Never. Because the only one in his life he saw more as a daughter. Calling it now. Well, I suppose I might do the same if I was the genius who programmed them all. Every time they opened their mouths, it'd just be his own lip service refracting 1,000 times over, echoing back to him from behind a mask he carved. Or children. Why would... He's, from everything we've heard about him, he seems exactly the kind of person who would see androids as children. And maybe that's because I'm assuming that the person at the end of episode 0 and that the one we saw earlier were both him. But, oh, I see. Maybe that bit at the beginning wasn't him and Morgan. Maybe that was him and Jess talking. Interesting. It seems he'd very much be the kind to see them as children. And now I'm suddenly getting Westworld vibes from this, which is another one of my favourite things. Season 1 of Westworld is one of the best TV shows I've ever seen. Season 2 is considerably worse, and I barely consider it part of the same show, but Season 1 is great. So that means all you have to investigate with are the penthouse security cameras. Yeah, but that should be enough to wrap up a case like this. In a good way, I mean. We're still very much on top of this, ladies. The investigation. I've been checking my phone, but the only thing the news seems to agree on is that David passed away. Sorry, but if you're asking for details... No thank you. For not letting them... Oh, she's saying no, thank you. For not letting them make this into a parade. Yet. We do our best to respect the privacy of anyone involved with an ongoing investigation. He declined to say victim. Detective, Dr. Asher was a close friend of mine for many years. Yeah, he trusted Morgan more than anyone. Can you tell me if he killed himself? It looks like that's the case. I see. Thank you for telling me that. So that was a bit of professional and personal courtesy with London saying, that's the story, but I don't think so, which is really cool. I love the writing in this. The dialogue is just so well done. So much personality and nuance is in this writing, and it's just great. Dr. Ash? Yeah, you're, sorry. Another round of guarded words. David was an important man, and it has only been a few hours. But all this tiptoeing gives me the feeling that whatever happened to David, it wasn't cut and dry. Controversy. Also, they all look at you when it comes to this. I've just noticed that. Like, she was looking down, and all three are looking directly at the camera. That's kind of weird. David was one of the biggest names in tech. He was the face of Noble Electronics. Huh? One could argue androids are only as common as they are today because of his contributions to the field. Some people felt that way, sure. So do you think anyone would want to hurt him because of that? Remind me, which one of us is the detective again? You really won't let me pick your brain? You already know the answer. Yes, ads are controversial, androids especially. We at Noble are aware that our products are sometimes the subject of heated debate, but no need to quote the handbook at us, miss. Truth be told, I've never really understood the hate. It's not that complicated, is it? How many people have lost a job to an ad at least once in their career? Every last one of them lost their jobs because of their bosses. Their flesh and blood bosses fired them. Nah, ads are just a symptom. Scratch that. Ads are just a product. Getting mad at them is pointless. Yeah, I mean, just as a contemporary comparison, the issue with generative AI isn't the AI, it's how companies are using it and stuff like that. And vandalizing them is less than pointless because, unlike us, they're all insured. And besides, Android production has surged over the last decade to become one of the nation's biggest exports. True, nice to have at least one thing we make in this country. That's right, Noble only outsources the production of a small handful of internal components. Every other part of the manufacturing process is proudly done right here at home. I somehow doubt everyone considers the specific of Noble's supply chain to be a point of national pride. But you don't need a political science degree to see how much of the state values Noble's contributions to the national economy. Alright, now listen, I don't mind being helpful, and I am trying to be sensitive here, but we really do have a lot on our hands in a moment. So I'm going to have to ask you to be discreet and ideally fast. Well, our business is just in the basement, David's basement. But the penthouse is on the top floor, the roof, so his basement would be second to last floor if you want to be technical, detective. The point is, we don't need to go into the kitchen or the parlour. We'll go straight back to his workshop and then head downstairs. The kitchen and the parlour. The kitchen and the parlour. That is an odd multiple rooms for a poisoning.